Good evening and welcome to Carmel Icehound Hockey. In these games here tonight, we're going to see a playoff game, which will be the final playoff for the championship for the Hoosier High School Hockey Division. That's the division that the Carmel Icehounds play in here locally. The 9 teams from this have played themselves on down to the point where Carmel is going to be playing Lawrence here this evening for the championship game. Carmel got to this point in the playoffs by first of all, they lost their first game to North Central 3-0, a hard-fought hockey game, and a hot goaltender for North Central shut them out. They came back and they played Bloomington on Friday evening and defeated Bloomington 11-0. Last night they went against Brebeuf, who was 0 for losses in this also. They were coming in with 2 wins and a 0 loss. And they beat Brebeuf last night 7-2. North Central got knocked off on Friday evening by the Brebeuf team, and that put Carmel back at an even strength with the Icehounds. And so from then on the Icehounds, they went right straight on through the playoffs, and they defeated Brebeuf last night to get themselves into the final game today. Yesterday's games that took place here saw Lawrence. They won on Friday evening. Beat Perry back on Saturday evening. They came back in here, or rather the following weekend they came in and beat Park Tudor and to defeat Columbus last night. So they won the B division, and tonight we're going to see Carmel with an 18-1 record and a Lawrence with a 14-4-1 record go against it here for the championship game before the state tournament next weekend. My colleagues here today helping with the broadcast is Pieter Collins. And also on camera is Grant Howitt. We're going to do the stats on the players when they get out for the warm-up here, and we're going to run down the stats for the final league standings so far this season. The stats so far are being led by Mike McDonald, but we will read them off in the numerical order, and each of the players can give the breakdown for the season. Pete, welcome to the broadcast, and Grant, thanks for coming in and do the camera for us.
Well, Whitey, it's great to be here.
I hope, I think we're going to have a good hockey game here. It's a good anticipation game. There's a lot of momentum builds up to the league play since Carmel did win their regular league season, 16-0 record, and Lawrence was right behind them in second place. So the rundown on the stats is putting the first and second place in the teams right here together against each other, and that's the way it should be, you know, as far as the league goes. A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to the league play. They kind of think it's, you know, it don't amount to anything, but it does to these teams. They want to win their league. They want to win their playoffs because that gives them the high that they want to go into the state tournament. And next weekend is the kickoff on that on Friday. So, and you got the stats there. Why don't you real quick give us where's Carmel going to start in the state tournament? We'll do the stats on the players individually when they come out on the ice.
Well, you're right, Whitey. Going into a state tournament, you do want to go with momentum behind you. And coming off league play and league championship games definitely provides a definite high for these two teams. Now, next weekend starts the Class AAA High School Hockey Championships. Carmel plays on Friday, February 28th, and they're going to play Columbus right here at the Skadium. And that game is a 9:30 p.m. in Rink 1, which is the rink we're going to broadcast from today. So that first game right out of the box on Friday evening, February 28th, against Columbus will be an exciting game.
So that could see the possibility of them having to go right back against this team they're playing today, Lawrence again, because Lawrence in the later game on Friday evening is going to be playing Adams from up in the South Bend area.
Right.
So those two teams will be going back at it again probably, and then if the winner of those two, if it probably will be Lawrence and it probably will be Carmel, because that's the way it's gone all season. Those two will have to go in on Saturday night here at 5:45, and the winner of that will go on into the final game on Sunday for the championship. And then the other teams that lose onto these, they go in the lower brackets for the losers bracket and also consolation. So this is kind of a pairing here to see if something that's what's going to happen here when we get into the state tournament next weekend. It could be easily a second pair up. It seems to be a rerun of the game what we see today. So this is going to set the tempo for that game, you know. Pete, also you saw a lot of hockey, I guess, this week, haven't you, with the Olympics and everything going on?
Saw the saw the Olympics. Been watching some collegiate hockey downtown at the Pan Am Plaza, Purdue and Indiana playing, and so we've been in tune with hockey quite a bit now.
And we watched a little bit of that even down in Florida while we were down there for the Daytona race. We even saw some of the hockey down there came through too. So it's been a fun week, and they've really have covered the hockey well on TV on CBS. So I think that it's a big push for high school hockey. It's a push for all the college hockey and stuff. These kids that want to go on and play some more beyond, just the regular youth programs and stuff like that. The figure skating was interesting too, which is that's your big game. You had a lot of names in there. A lot of people that you've competed against with your kids at different times. How'd you feel about there was a little bit of controversy about some of the players and the skaters rather, that they were got the grading that they should have and so on. What did you think of the overall?
Well, overall, traditionally the best skater wins. In the case of the men's event this year, there was some controversy whether Paul Whitey, who came in second, representing the United States, perhaps should have been first over Petrenko from Russia. So. But overall, we were just delighted. Personally, I was delighted because I'm quite heavily involved with our sports medicine training camps out in Colorado Springs. And from our first camp, our attendees were Christy Yamaguchi, Tanya Harding, Todd Eldridge, and a number of these kids that are now competing and winning medals for the United States. So to see and play a very small part in the progress and the results of these kids was very exciting for us.
Yeah, well, especially I think everybody was really pleased with, especially the ones around here that know Paul Wiley, because Paul Wiley was in here 2 years ago, and he was the star of our Nutcracker ice show here that the Ice Skating Club and the Carmel Symphony put on. And he just did a fantastic job. He just won the hearts of all the kids around here. And
well, don't sell yourself short there, Whitey, because you were a member of that show, too. Yeah. You were a showstopper out there.
One time.
Okay.
Anyway, and on also the Yamaguchi, when she came in here, she'd been here just prior to that. In fact, she skated out here for about a week while she was in here training, and that was when they were downtown with the Skate America. Was that what?
Correct. And right, Tanya Harding.
So we got to meet her, and she's a fine young lady. So we both of these kids that did well, we were really pleased with, and we were happy because we'd had some connections with them, and they'd also been to our facilities at different times and skated and stuff like that, and it was fun. So it's been an interesting Olympic. Now the question comes, I guess, is how many of these kids, because it's only going to be 2 years for another Olympic. Will some of these, do you think Paul and him maybe will train for a couple of years and maybe instead of going on with his schooling, do you think he'll go on and try to maybe skate? Do you think
I don't think Paul's going to stay for another Olympics in 2 years. I think that with Paul receiving the silver medal, he had no dreams that he may end up with that silver medal. And I think he realizes he's going to take the medal, he's going to run, he's going to start skating in some of the professional shows and some of the professional competition. And then he'll probably go back to academics probably in 2 to 3 years. But he's going to make a few dollars right now.
Oh,
the other kids probably will stay. I think Yamaguchi, she's young. She could be a repeat winner in 1994. We have young Todd Eldridge, who's been our national champion, who skated with a bad back this year. He definitely will stay. Whether Mr. Bowman, the showman, whether he stays for another 2 years, he doesn't know. He won't know to the moment he either stays in the rink as an amateur or decides to put his hand out for a few dollars.
What do you think will happen with the hockey program? Do you think this coach will stay on? Do you think he'll go with these kids that he's got since it's only going to be 2 years? Or do you think we're going to see a whole new coach on a whole new group of kids regrouped and start all over again? Or
I think it makes a lot of sense to stay with Dave Peterson. He was the coach in 1988. He was with the program for the last 4 years. He knows all the talent that's out there. He has a lot of support from the A-House group led with Art Berglund. And it just makes sense to my thinking that they would stay with Dave Peterson for 2 years.
It says a lot, too, about the high school programs as far as the locations in the northern part of the United States and over in the east and stuff to take a high school coach like Peterson, who's had 17 years and he's never coached higher than the ranks of high school coach, chose to be the coach for the Olympic team. I think that's, it's just phenomenal. It's just, I'm, a lot of years with high school hockey. I think it's just great that somebody has been, chosen to do that. And I thought he did an excellent job. And I was, very pleased with the outcome. I'm sure some people thought we should have won gold, but you got to realize what kind of talent we're going up against.
Exactly.
It's fantastic. Pete, the teams, as far as the Olympic teams go, who do you think that I'm at this point there's a game going on right now? This is Sunday afternoon. This game here is while we're broadcasting, and it's probably in the third period right by now, and it's been the Canadians and the unified team. And the unified team last that I had there, they were ahead 2-0. Do you think the unified team is just going to they'll hold that and as good as the Canadian team is? Do you think that they can catch up with it? Or do you think that the unified team?
Well, if I understand, 14 members of the unified team are headed for the NHL. After this, they're going to walk out with medals around their necks. They're going to climb on planes, and they're heading for North America. Whether they reunite the unified team in 2 years is not as likely as you may think, because of the deterioration of the sporting program in Russia, since we no longer have Soviets.
Yeah. Well, it's for the sake of hockey and for sake of the Russian situation the way it is at this point. It's probably a good thing that if they can win this will help. Maybe this will help their country and everything. They've got a lot of problems.
And what we probably don't realize is the depth of their program going down into what we would classify our junior level, and
well, their athletes in this amateur ranks over there are the ultimate, like our pro athletes are here, and it's phenomenal what they do with that, with the things that they're awarded and their way of life and everything. We've talked about so much, so I think it's really great, and the Olympics have been great coverage. I know you were happy probably with the skating part of it, and also you saw some of the hockey. I thought the hockey was great, and I think hockey is live and well, especially in the high school ranks. You're going to have a good game here to show you in a little while. I think we'll just take a little pause here. We'll come back on when the teams get out. We'll go through the lineup, and we'll go through the scoring for the Icehounds for this past season up to this point, the regular season, and then we'll get a game going here, and this is the final championship game. Carmel Icehounds versus Lawrence. We'll see you in a few minutes. Back here, Pete, and we're going to give it the rundown here of the two teams. Plus, let's go through the by numbers, the complete Carmel scoring for the final season. These are the final stats for the regular season.
We're going to start. We're going to work numerical on this, and of course, number one is Jason Schubert, the goalie, and he's been averaging 2.5 goals against, and he's played in 56 games. Now, there's one interesting statistic. He has an assist this year in one of the games, so he does have a point. Then we're going to, number two for Carmel is Danny Fagan, who has played in 54 games. He has 5 goals. 16 assists for a total of 21 points. And then number 3 for Carmel, we have Derek Wagner, who's played in 50 games. He has 14 goals, 21 assists for a total of 37 points. Number 4 for Carmel is Pete Ray. He's played in 52 games. He's scored 2 goals and 27 assists for 29 points. Number 6 for Carmel is John Wagner. He's played in 41 games. He's had 24 goals. He's had 34 assists for a total of 58 points. Number 7 for Carmel, Ben Cole. He's played in 37 games. He's had 6 goals. He's had 18 assists for a total of 24 points. Number 9, Corey Ringel. He's played in 54 games. He has 25 goals. He has 31 assists. He has a total of 56 points. Number 10, Danny Baja. He's played in 43 games. He has 46 goals, 35 assists, He has a total of 81 points. Number 11 for Carmel, John Morris. He's played 40 games. He has 2 goals. He has 19 assists and a total of 21 points. Number 12 for Carmel is Brian Smith. He's played 27 games, 10 goals, 21 assists for a total of 31 points. Number 14 for Carmel is A.J. Holdsworth. He's played 54 games, 19 goals, 62 assists. He has a total of 81 points. 15 for Carmel is Ryan Farrell. 48 games he's played in, 5 goals, 17 assists, a total of 22 points. 16 is Reid Myers. He's played 57 games. Reid has 41 goals. He has 48 assists, a total of 89 points. 18 for Carmel is Bull West. Bull's played 55 games, 11 goals, 12 assists, a total of 23 points. Number 19, Mike McDonald. Here's a big shooter. He's played in 49 games, 62 goals, 52 assists. Mike has a total of 114 points. Number 20, Todd Davis. 55 games, 11 goals, 17 assists for a total of 28 points. 21, Zach Burkle. He has 47 games. He's scored 3 goals, 10 assists, a total of 13 points. Number 22, Connor Kerr. Connor's played in 43 games, 33 goals, 38 assists, a total of 71 points. Number 24, Rocky Riley. Rocky's played in 33 games, has 31 goals, 24 assists, a total of 55 total points. And I believe that takes us right through the Carmel roster. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but I believe I've got the whole team right there. So, Whitey,
Pete, real quick, the leaders are say the top 5 leaders real quick.
Okay.
Just give me real quick their
we
names.
have Mike McDonald, number 19. Then we have Reid Myers with 89 points. Danny Baja with 81 points. A.J. Holdsworth with 81 points. And number 22, Connor Kerr with 71 points.
We're going to get the starting lineup here. See if we can pick it up on the intercom. We're getting ready to get started here, Pete. Carmel's in the white, down at the far end.
Starting for the visiting, Lawrence Bearcat. At right defense, number 8, Merchant. At left defense, number 29, Sauce. At center, number 6, Newhouse. And at right wing, number 11, Klein. At left wing, number 17, Hawkins. And starting at goal for the Lawrence Bearcats, number 30, Damon Osborne. For the home team, Carmel Icehounds. Starting at right defense, number 3, Wagner, Derek. At left defense, number 4, Pieter. At center, number 6, Wagner, John. And at right wing, number 16, Myers. At left wing, number 22, Kerr. And starting at goal for the Carmel Icehounds, number 1, Jason Schubert. And the rest of the Carmel Icehounds and the Lawrence Bearcats.
Well, Pete, there's a lineup that we anticipated that they would probably go with. The youth back on the defense there with Derek Wagner and a senior over there with Ray. And then the full lineup up in front with the senior with Connor.
We will not have a national anthem. Good luck to both teams.
Our referees for today, Pete, the referee will be Dyer. The 2 linesmen will be Hahn and Talkman. Well, Pete, what did you think of the college game last night? You saw the IU and Purdue play.
Well, it was a
downtown.
reversal of the night before. On Friday night, Indiana just couldn't get started, and Purdue overwhelmed them, I believe, with a score of 8-2 or 3. Then last night, IU turned it right around and came back and had an 8-1 victory over Purdue, changing goalies and playing. Of course, I'm a little prejudiced since I have a son playing for the IU team. And
a little physical?
Little physical. And
yeah.
Of course, our good friend, Freddie Mangian, his son plays for IU and scored a beautiful breakaway goal that made the old man real proud sitting in that stands. Puffed up that stomach a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, it's. I was talking to him the other day, and Kathy Mangian was asking me if we'd find any good places to eat down there in Florida, and I assured her that we hadn't. We still have not found a good restaurant down there. So I don't know whether we'll go back again next year or not if it keeps up at this.
Well, he's still bragging about he never ordered that pizza key lime pie,
yeah.
but he was the first one to finish.
Well, we're
right,
getting ready to
go.
start it here. Well, John Wagner going to take the face off, and it goes back to Derek Wagner. Back across, and John picks it up and throws it back to Connor. He feed it in front. Oh, just push Reid Myers a little off there on the play there, and he could not get the tip on the goaltender. Carmel pokes it back in and keeps it in the Lawrence end. Good feed to John. Oh, nice save
Good
on
save.
the nice save on the Lawrence goaltender. I think it's Matt. Is it Matt Benson?
I believe that's the goalie for Lawrence.
Save. So we'll have a face-off here to the left of the Lawrence goaltender. John Wagner will take this face-off again. On the ice for Carmel, we have Derek Wagner, Pete Ray, Connor Kerr, John Wagner, and Reid Myers. Carmel is controlling the puck at this end very well. Good shot from the point. Nice save. Feeds through. Carmel throws it deep back into the zone. John Wagner gets it across. Nice pass. Nice pass.
There's one.
Nice pass. John Wagner threw a nice pass across, and Reid and Kerr put it together. A nice little deke there by Connor Kerr. So we got the first score here of the game. It comes at...
Scored by Connor Kerr. Assist to Myers and John Wagner.
So it's Kerr assisted by Reid Myers and John Wagner. First goal of the game coming just about, not quite a minute into the game. Just about 45 seconds into the game. We had already had a face-off in the zone down there, and Carmel maintained. So Carmel's ahead 1-0 here. This is the championship game. Carmel in the white. This is for the championship for the league playoff. Carmel has won their regular league season. This is for the championship for the playoffs.
There's a goal.
Oh, nice little bit. Little bobble on the goaltender there. Threw it back up, but no help from the defense.
He lost his balance there a little bit there, Whitey, I think, and he got back on his heels and he couldn't make
so
the
the
move
Lawrence player picked it up nicely. He took it right off the post and went right across to hit the other post and in. But bank shots are the hard ones.
Particularly if you're standing on your heels.
Scored by Gentry.
Number 15.
Gentry from Riggins and Renfro.
So the goal on that there was scored by Bobby Gentry, and the assist went to Brad Riggins and the Brian Renfro. So we've 1-1 game here. Lawrence comes right back and scores. And Lawrence goaltender takes the puck out of play.
Well, Carmel's coming right back.
Carmel look
putting
a little sluggish in the zone. It's kind of not a lot of movement. Just the puck is moving around a little bit, but doesn't seem to be that they're skating much in the zone. That's kind of a little sluggish. Maybe a little carryover from the late game last night. So we got Baja Smith and Ringo up front with Zach Burkle and Bo West on the point. Just 2 minutes into the game, Carmel scored first, and Lawrence came back and just scored. So we're tied 1-1. Burkle takes a shot from the point. Lawrence goaltender takes the puck out of play. He had to take that puck out of play to keep Baja from getting a hold of it there. He was right there on that bounce off his glove. So we'll have a face-off here. Danny Baja, playing center, will take the face-off. Pete, we got a good little crowd here for Sunday afternoon, as nice as the weather is outside, for coming in for the championship game. Of course, the real crowd will come in next weekend for the state tournament. A little steal by the Lawrence player. He shoots it high and right into the defenseman. And Schubert takes the puck out of play. So we get a change of lines here on both teams. Coming out for Carmel, we'll have the scoring line that scored the goal early in the period. John Wagner and Connor Kerr and Reid Myers. And we'll have got Myers. Yeah, let's see, that's right. We've got Ray, and on defense, Derek Wagner. Connor Kerr into the zone, a little offsides. We'll have a face-off. Well, evidently, Carmel must have got out of their shell after that game with the slow game that got shut out with North Central, Pete, and got things rolling. They scored 18 goals in the next 2 games, and they only allowed 2 against them. So they started taking it pretty serious, evidently, and came back and won the rights to be here today.
Well, sometimes it'll take a game, not anything to put North Central down. They played really hard, strong hockey to take Carmel in that game, and well-deserved win. And on the other hand, Carmel has responded since then.
Yeah, a little penalty coming up here on Carmel for Reid Myers. They call it, I think they call it hooking. Might have been a little dive there. So we're going to see Lawrence with a power play going off here, killing the power play for Carmel. We're going to leave the front line out with John Wagner and Connor Kerr, Derek Wagner, and got Pete Ray back on the defense. And Connor Kerr clears it out from a pass off of Pete Ray's stick, and it goes all the way down into the Lawrence zone. Lawrence picks it up and comes back out for the clearing. It comes on back to Ray. Feeds across to Derek. Derek Wagner shoots it back down ice. It seems like Lawrence is kind of wandering around. They can't get started, and both Carmel players are getting right in between their wingers and picking off the passes. They can't seem to get anything started. And Lawrence shoots it back in. Derek Wagner picks it up, fires it down ice off the boards and deep into the Lawrence zone. There's no icing. Carmel shorthanded. There's still about 55 seconds left on the Carmel penalty. Lawrence and Carmel both get a change of players here. You got McDonald out now with Morris, Riley, and also Fagan killing the penalty. And McDonald reads the pass, cuts it off. Oh, nice little pass across from Riley, trying to get to Mike McDonald out front, and the pass is missed. And Lawrence throws it deep into Carmel zone. There'll be a face-off and icing down in the Lawrence end.
Well, Carmel's done a great job. They're down a man, and they've taken that puck out of their zone regularly and put the pressure down on the Lawrence end. So.
Lawrence took a couple of shots there, but they didn't get anything in close. They took one long shot, and then they tried to get one centered to the point, and so far they have not really been too strong on the power play. Carmel shut them out pretty well. Oh, nice little bobble there. McDonald tried to get a hold of it, and it did bobble again, so it comes out. John Morris picks it up. Back out to Fagan. Hit gets tied up in the board, and the Lawrence player. Fagan plays puck over to Riley. Clears it. And he fires it back in, and the penalty's over. We're back to full strength, Pete.
Well, Carmel certainly did a wonderful job on keeping that puck out of their zone. They looked like they were on the offense.
Made a little breakout here. McDonald and Holdsworth. Holdsworth gives a drop pass to McDonald. Crossed. Gonna lay it on the point out here. Get the shot from the point from Zach. Bo West retains it, pulls in the zone. McDonald picks it up along the boards and fires it back in behind the net again. They're trying to keep it deep in the zone, and Smith picks it up along the boards. Puck seems to be doing a little bouncing around. Ha had a nice point blank pass right there put to him, and he took a nice shot. It's a little high over the goaltender's shoulder. So we're going to take a face-off here out in the neutral zone. It was offsides. Pete, what do you think of the tempo so far? It's kind of laid back, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think that they're kind of just feeling each other out.
It's really not up and down hockey at this point. The one thing that Carmel seems to be a little more consistent getting to the puck than North Central and than Lawrence, excuse me.
Well, Wagner handling the puck. Derek Wagner handling the puck for Carmel. He gives the drop pass into Baja. Baja is knocked off. A little tap on the shoulder and turned him from the behind and spun him around and dropped him. Pete Ray gets the puck. He fires it in. It stopped at the blue line. Then it's retrieved. Oh, nice little pass by Ringo. Dropped off on to Smith. That's Smith's best angle. It's coming in from that angle like that. He can throw a little pass up in the air into the corner. Catch that goaltender starting to move off that post. Got a little delay here. We had a hole off going in line. Two guys went in before the puck. It's over in the Lawrence players bench area, and so we have a stoppage of play. We're going to get a change of lines here. We got Wagner coming back out with Connor Kerr and Reid. Going to have Fagan and Morris back on the point. For Lawrence, we've got Klein out there and also Newhouse. On defense, Christofferson. And let me see if we can pick up on the other names here.
Good save by the Lawrence goalie there.
Osborne's the other player for Lawrence that's on the ice at this time. This Hawkins kid for Lawrence is going to be a good little hockey player. I think he's just a sophomore, Pete. They've got some young kids coming through there that they lose, I think, 6 players this year, but the rest, everything they retain, everything else they have will be back again. So they should have a pretty good hockey club again next year. Well, we got a stoppage of play over there, and the puck is played against the boards. So we'll have a face-off here in the Lawrence end. Pete, what did you think of that speed skiing coming?
Oh,
140 miles an hour.
140 miles an hour.
Uh-oh.
Breakaway.
A little breakaway on Fagan.
Oh. The wrong man put that one in, Whitey.
Yeah. Cleared it away. Defenseman got caught flat-footed, and the two Lawrence players just took off on him, and they got the first shot, which Schubert made the first save on that, and then we got another one. Who put the last one in?
Scored by David Hawkins, unassisted.
David Hawkins, 17, unassisted for Lawrence. So Lawrence is ahead here, just past the halfway mark, 2-1. Carmel has got to wake up. So it's a feed out. John Wagner picks it up, tries to get a pass across the Kerr, and it's intercepted by the Lawrence player. Shot on goal. Schubert made the save. Lawrence is maintaining in those corners a lot better than we are. So John Wagner comes out, pitches up to Connor Kerr. Connor takes a shot from an easy save. The Lawrence goaltender takes it out of play. Yeah, we've got to work that puck better. The long shots are not going to get it with him. He's got to have the shots, rebounds. He's taking everything out of play as soon as the shot is made. Well, we got a little change here for Carmel. We got Riley out with McDonald, Holdsworth on the point, Burkle, and Bo West. And Lawrence takes the possession on the faceoff and shoots it down. We got an icing. So we're coming all the way back down in the Lawrence end and be on the right side of the goaltender. So next week, Pete, we'll have our telecast here. We're going to try to get all three games as they come through. Carmel and Columbus first, and the winner of that, whoever, if Carmel goes against. But we're going to have the championship game, no matter who's going to be in it. We'll televise it. We'll get that to school and get it showing. So on Thursday night at like 7:30 in the evening, like this, there'll be things. Maybe get a little when we get a break here between the periods. Pete, give us a little rundown on the state tournament, and we're going to talk to Ed Turner here between the periods. Also, he's going to be the director this year for the state tournament here. Him and Maury French are conducting it, and we'll talk to Ed a few minutes about the state tournament and how things are going.
That'll be good. We'll go through the lineup of the teams that'll be playing in that first Friday night series of games, Whitey.
Yeah, the A division will be downtown at the Pan Am Plaza on the rinks down there, and the second part of the A and also the AA and AAA will be here at the nice little move by McDonald. He intercepted the pass, deked the goaltender, pulled it right over, and he just took it right in there. So got a little tie game here. Mike McDonald just scored for Carmel, and we tied the game up 2-2. 5 minutes left in the first period here.
Scored by Mike McDonald, unassisted.
Unassisted. So McDonald's lines goes off, and we got Baja, Ringo. And Smith out on the line now with Ray, and we got on defense with Ray. Pete Ray and Derek Wagner. Never saw Schubert kicking so many straight out front as he seems to be doing here. His saves are all right there. Whether he's anticipating the defenseman's going to grab it and pick it up, which they're not doing. They got in trouble with two of those now. And another one just went the same way right there.
Well, that obviously makes a dangerous situation anytime that puck is rebounded out front.
You've either got to pick it up or move those guys out in front, because you can't just leave it lay there.
I know goalies work on deflecting that puck away, and if possible even behind the goal into the corner. And sometimes they just aren't focusing on their job.
Yeah. Well, P. Ray keeps it in, and Ringo goes for it in the boards. Carmel trying to maintain possession. Derek Wagner picks it up, gets it across to Baja. Baja's holding it in the zone, trying to set it up in front. Goes across, Ringo picks it up, trying to set it out to the point to Smith. Back down in the corner to Ringo, he gets pulled down. Smith picks it up, He gets it stripped off him by the Lawrence player, and the Lawrence is on their way back out. And it comes deep. Pete Ray picks it up. He's looking. Carmel's getting a line change here right now. I think they got a little tired. Might be a little tired from last night. Across to Connor Kerr. Down the side to Reid Myers. And a little tip pass, but Reid is able to maintain. Playing along the boards, Connor Kerr and John Wagner pokes it loose. He's going to try to get it across to Reid Myers in front. Not much skating. It seems like it's a lot of telegraphing of passes and so on that seems to be getting in touch, because Lawrence is figuring out exactly where these passes are coming from. Nice setup right there from Connor across to Reid. Reid took a nice shot, and the Lawrence goaltender did a good job of picking it off. Now there's the kind of deflections we're talking about. He fanned on that one, but that's the kind of deflections. That's what it's going to take. It's going to go up while he's down. It's like they talked about LeBlanc, the goalie for their U.S. team, of he being a butterfly goalie and going down. They need when he goes down, they need to get that second shot and go up. Shot by Kerr misses the net, and the puck gets lodged in the net. We're going to have a face-off. And we're going to get a change of lines here, too. McDonald, Holdsworth, and Riley coming out, along with Burkle and Bo West on defense. So we're down to the 150 mark here of the first period. It's 2-2. Carmel scored first. Lawrence came back and scored the next two, and Carmel just scored a little bit ago. This unassisted goal by McDonald. And we've got a 2-2 game here in the first period. This is the championship game for the Hoosier High School Hockey Association. This is their playoff final game. This is the prelude to next week's state tournament. There'll be like 24 teams from throughout the state going to become here and participate in the state tournament. Like I said, between periods here, we're going to talk to Ed Turner with the high school group. Oh, nice play there. Riley tried to get it up, and they took it out of play right in front of the net. Looked like Jason Turner on that play there. That Hail Mary. If it hadn't been for all those guys scoring all those goals on
just
Jason,
had a shot at him there, and he doesn't even know what we're talking about.
Jason had been a heck of a goalie if he hadn't had all those goals scored on him. Yeah, the coaching. I don't know what happened there on the. By the way, we'd like to thank Bob McDonald and Mike Kerr for getting over here early and getting the camera and everything set up. That's the reason we didn't have the first two periods.
But they're honest about it, Whitey.
Well, we're coming out here now. Rocky's got the pass off from Bo West. Back into the zone. And the puck is out of play again. Well, what do you think of the saves of B, Pete, at this point? Do you think I think Carmel's outshot them. I don't think they've gone for the anything other than just the point blank shots. I don't think they've gone after the rebounds and stuff that much, but I think they've outshot Lawrence at this point. We're down under the 1 minute mark here left in the first period. Rocky Riley throws it deep into the zone. Holdsworth goes across to get it, and Lawrence shoots it back out. It bobbles and goes down. Burkle goes back to pick it up in the Carmel zone. He's hurried by the Lawrence player, which is picked off. And Bo West picks it up and carries it out. By himself, McDonald's following him up. Goes across to McDonald. Nice shot.
15 seconds.
Just about got the goaltender sleeping there, and he threw that leg pad out and made a nice save. So it looks like we're going to end up the period over here in the corner, right close. So that's the end of the first period. Carmel and Lawrence here in the championship game for the league playoff. 2-2 tie at this point. Carmel scored first with a goal from Connor Kerr. And then Lawrence came back with a goal off of Gentry and another goal from Hawkins. And then McDonald for Carmel scored late in the period, and we're at a 2-2 tie. We're going to get a rundown here quick. Pete, tell us a little bit about the state tournament. Let's get a chance to get here and talk about this real quick. We just said that the A division on Friday, most of that will be played at the Pan Am Plaza downtown.
That's right.
Here at Carmel, starting at 5:45 in the evening on both rinks, we will see the AA and the AAA divisions will be playing here on both divisions. And then after their play downtown, the single A will come back out here on Saturday. The single, the double, and the triple will all play their games here on Saturday, and then the championship games will be on Sunday. They'll be starting on Sunday afternoon. The first game on Sunday afternoon, the single A championship game will be played, and that will be at 12:45. And then followed that game will be the double A at 3. These are all the championship games. And then finally the AAA game, which the Carmel will be in, will be at 5:30, and these will all be in Rink 1 here at Carmel. The tickets are going to be available at the door. You can buy a pass for the whole weekend that lets you come in at any time during any of the games, see as many games you want for $10. That's a hell of a deal for that many games of hockey, and you're going to get a chance to see all these games. And for $10 you can do it, or you can also come in and pay individually, and it's $4. I think. Is there a student price too? Half price, $8. $8. That's for the complete pass. Okay. Also, now I'm gonna give you a phone number here. If you need to know when the games are going to be played, or if you need to call and find out the results of any of these games, call the 844-1140 number. That's the number at the Skadium here, the hotline number, and you can call and get the results of games. You can get the pairings of who's going to play who and everything. So if you've got any questions, instead of calling the Skadium, get it firsthand, call the hotline number, 844-1140. We'll talk to Ed Turner here for a second right now. Ed, welcome to the show, and just real quick, we'd just like to ask, I guess, is everything going along smooth?
Yes, Whitey, we have the state tournament next weekend. We'll have 33 games in 72 hours in A, AA, and AAA, and everybody's doing their committee functions. It seems going to be a good tournament, and we'd like to see everybody come out and watch these high school hockey players. Thank you.
Okay, well, play started here in the starting of the second period. How about, would you come back over between the second and third period and talk to us for a second?
Sure,
okay.
Be glad to.
Thanks, Ed. Pete? You're here, Pete?
Yep, we're here. We're into period number 2, and of course, teams have changed ends of the rink for their home net, and the puck to this point's been Carmel down in the Lawrence zone, and nothing too exciting at this point. They're just working the puck around. We do have Ringo and Derek Wagner and Smith on the ice.
Baja makes the pass back here to Derek Wagner. And Carmel's going to have a power play advantage here, I believe. We just got, did they give us the shots there from that first period?
I didn't hear them, Whitey.
Did you?
Maybe Craig, did you get the shots on goal? Did you hear an announcement on shots on goal?
Lawrence penalty to Travis Klein, 2 minutes minor for tripping at 12:58 in the second period.
Okay. It was approximately 2-1 Carmel shots on goal. It was somewhere around 22 shots for Carmel and 11 or 12 for Lawrence.
We thought it was going to be quite a difference there, but I didn't think it would be 20. I didn't think they got 22 shots, but they might have. Well, Lawrence shoots it down the ice to Schubert. Bo West, oh, we're going to get another little penalty here. John Wagner, or not John, but Derek Wagner got his stick up in the air, which he shouldn't have, and he got, all the guy had to do is grab it to his jersey and just take a dive, and he's off the ice. So that blows the power play here that we had, which we would have, liked to have had to get on a goal here quick in this period.
Hooking to Derek Wagner.
Derek Wagner is a 2-minute hooking. Did you guys get the shots? Did you guys hear the shots for that period? 17-7. Pete, the shots on that period was 17-7.
Okay.
Carmel had 17 and Lawrence was 7, so they outshot them about 10 more. Well, Carmel doesn't have a power play anymore. We're down to 4-4. It's an even strength, but Lawrence will have a little bit of a power play for about 17 seconds here as soon as their player gets out, since a late penalty for Carmel came up. For Carmel right now on defense, we've got Bo West and Pete Ray, John Wagner and Connor Kerr up front. For Lawrence, we've got Newhouse and Hawkins and Riggins. And also Renfro. We're tied 2-2. We're just into the second period. Carmel in the white. Nobody can seem to get a hold of the puck. So it goes back into Carmel's zone. Bo West goes back, turns and picks it up. He throws it up. There's nobody there. So I guess Carmel was just going to use that as a chance to change the line. Coming out for the defense is Morris and Fagan, along with Riley and McDonald up forward. Round to Morris, point shot. Nobody in close.
Nobody there.
There's nobody there.
No. Standing on 2 feet, too long.
The big shot, but not the pokes and the little poke ends are the ones that make the difference. So it gets thrown back to Fagan. Picks it up, come across to Morris. Intercepted by Lawrence. Lawrence turns. Renfro picks it up. Renfro for Lawrence. Throws it back in the zone. Riley gets the puck and clears it. So Riley's coming. Lawrence, there's 3-on-1 on. Fagan throws it back in. We've got an offsides.
It seems they're just haven't started those engines yet, and to get those legs moving quick when we, as you know, I get involved working with power skating with these guys, and we like to identify intensity as from a 1 to a 20 level, and right now I'd have to tell them they're only playing at a 14, 15.
Yeah, well, Pete, through the years we found that these kids get themselves geared, that they come in and they practice after school, and that's they've been up at that point in the day. They've been up for at least 9 hours or so, maybe even longer, and then they play later in the evening hours, and even when they on the road on the weekends, they play Friday night here late. Or on the road, they will go in and they will play in the evening, 6 or 6:30 or so, or 5:30, 6:30 in the evening. And then maybe they'll play on Sunday morning. And it always shows that the later games, they're a lot sharper than they are on the afternoon games like this one here. This being in play here, it's coming up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is not their time slot. They're not used to this time of day. I think it's got a lot to do with it.
I agree.
We've seen games where they look sluggish. Both teams look sluggish. Their schedule is not the way they normally play it. They usually play later in the day and later in the evening. And it shows. And this here is a good example of here. This could be just why it's kind of a sluggish hockey game.
Well,
we did get a line change here for Carmel coming out on defense. We've got Bo West and Zach Burkle up front, Ringo, Baja, and Smith. Sorry, Pete, I interrupt you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, you know, coaches tell their players, warm up, go warm up. And a lot of these kids really don't understand what warming up means. And we're literally telling them, raise that body temperature. And you don't raise that body temperature until you have 12, 15 minutes of anaerobic activity continuous. And when they come out and they play a shift, and then they go sit down, then they play the next shift, and they sit down. It's taking them probably the first period to period and a half to just get their bodies warmed up. And the advantage of being warmed up is that you're going to gain 10% of strength if you warm that body by 1 degree. And here we go. Here's a good break front of the goal. And
nice effort there
sure
on
was.
Smith going after that loose puck. You know, you're talking about warming the body up. What'd you think of that weather down there in Florida?
Oh, I think that's why. There we go.
Oh, we just scored. Good goal. Baja just picked it up. Now there was a good example of a second effort there on Baja's part. Nice goal. And that puts Carmel out front 3-2. See whether we got an assist on that or not. So the goal went to Baja, and I think we probably got an assist there from Smith, maybe.
Carmel goal at 8:53 in the period, scored by Ringo, assist. Correction on the goal, scored by Morris, assist to Ringo.
Scored by Morris?
I thought it was.
I think we're going to get another correction. The Baja was the goal.
That's why.
The assist would have been Ringo and Smith.
I know Brian Smith got one.
I believe that was number 10 that put that puck in the net.
I think so too. I think they've got a mix-up on the numbers maybe on the roster over there. They're looking at the wrong number. But the goal definitely was from Baja. And I think Ringo maybe and Smith or even Morris could have been involved in there. Who had the last? There's only normally 2 assists to the goal. They do not give 3 assists. So it may have been, don't know who touched it last there. Okay, Carmel maintains and throws it back in the zone. Connor Kerr pucks away from Lawrence. Oh, nice move. Now they're starting to get in close and on top of that goaltender. Things are going to happen. Well, we'll see if we don't get a correction on that Carmel goal, last Carmel goal to put them ahead here 3-2. So we think there's a correction on it. I think they got the numbers wrong. Kerr's, nothing wrong with Kerr's skating legs, is there?
Well, you know, just as we were talking about getting those bodies going, and it takes a period and a half.
Oh,
there
nice move.
Myers.
Nice play. Myers to John Wagner, and John Wagner out to Connor Kerr, and Connor put a nice one right past the glove on the far side. Connor Kerr's got his legs going. So I would say that was 16 to 6 and 22. 22 Connor Kerr got the goal. So John Wagner along with Reid Myers assisting. The goal scored by, right, here we go, correction.
The goal was scored by Baja, assist to Ringo and Smith.
There we go.
Carmel's fourth goal, scored by Kerr, assist to Myers, Wagner.
Right. So we're back on course here. The number 3 goal was Baja, Ringo, and Smith, which we thought that was right. Carmel is really getting on top of him close in now, and Lawrence is having a hard time with it. A little interference play here. And it may go to Rocky Riley. So Lawrence player got dumped. Yeah, interference. I think Carmel got the penalty, Pete.
Yep.
Yes, Riley, number 24 for Carmel.
He's going to go sit down right underneath his dad's watchful eyes.
Rocky Riley, 2-minute minor for holding.
Holding. Well, Carmel's got the power play here, and they've put McDonald along with Pete Ray, Fagan, and Morris. No, I'm sorry, not Pete Ray. It's Holdsworth over there, number 4 and 14. McDonald and Holdsworth to kill the penalty, and Morris and Fagan. Net's off, and we're going to have a stoppage of play here. John Morris got pushed into the goal there. Well, we're down to the halfway mark here, and Carmel's ahead 4-2. This is the championship game for the league playoffs. It's Carmel and Lawrence. Carmel in the white. And on the ice for Carmel at this time is McDonald, Holdsworth, Fagan, and John Morris. Carmel shorthand with Rocky Riley's penalty at this point. Fagan has the puck behind the net. So we're going to get a change here. It's taking Baja and Ringo out, putting Morris and Ray out on the. I took Morris off, and he's got John, Derek Wagner, Pete Ray on the points with Baja and Ringo up front. Got about 1:10 left in the penalty, Pete.
Yep. And then we'll get Rocky out of the
Baja
the
gets
bench.
the puck and shoots it down ice. And it's gloved by the Lawrence player. It's J.J. Spreitzer on the point, along with Sauce for Lawrence. Up front, we got Renfro, Newhouse, and Riggins. .30 seconds left in Carmel penalty. Carmel's ahead, 4-2. We're just into the second period here. About 5:35 left in the period. Newhouse gets away from the Carmel defenseman. John Morris picks it up, gets it across to Baja, and Baja shoots it back down. Well, the power play was held off, and Carmel's back to full strength. They're both full strength now. Pete Ray just stripped the puck right off of that little stick handling episode there. And Lawrence shoots the puck down so they can get a line change. It's a nice move there by Pete Ray. He followed that puck handler. He eluded a couple of guys, and he could have got in on Schubert all by himself, but he kept him right in front of him and kept him out front. Pete, what do you think of the skating of those unified team players, the Russian players? Isn't it unbelievable, the backwards and the forwards and the lateral movements?
They're great skaters, and it doesn't matter which way they go. As you just said, they move quick, their heads up, and they have all the moves.
Those lateral movements and the twisting and turning like Gretzky does so much of, they just can keep the puck until they want to make the pass that they want. Well, we haven't seen too much of Davis. Davis just got on the ice, and also they put Farrell out along with Cole. That's the first time I've seen them tonight. He hasn't used that that young kid line along with Ben Cole. There's another straight out. Shu is kind of, that's not his game to put those pucks out there like that so much. So we had a little pushing and shoving going on there along with Farrell. And
Carmel's Farrell, 2-minute minor slashing.
Klein.
Lawrence Klein, 2-minute minor cross-checking.
So we'll get a coincidental minors there. So nobody will be short-handed, Pete. They'll just they'll both have 5 players on the ice because it's coincidental minors.
You maybe want to explain that, Whitey, to our listeners. Coincidental.
Yeah, well, it's just what it says. When it's coincidental, where there's 2 at the same time like that, minor penalties. Look at Connor Kerr, just turn it on and go right on down there past those guys and took them right on down the ice. Just unbelievable. That's his of course that's his 3rd goal of the game, and that's his hat trick. But he just caught that defenseman napping and just turned it on and went right on by him. It's a nice move. We'll see if we got any assists on that, but I know that is his hat trick.
Chuck Riley was wearing a hat that was thrown on the ice.
Carmel goal at 4:03 of the period, scored by Connor Kerr. His hat trick, assisted Wagner. Kerr from Wagner.
Okay, there's just the one assist from John. John does another beautiful setup. Nice setup there. There's Kerr again. Nice pass. He laid it right over on John Wagner's stick and John put it right back, right to the side, the stick side of the Lawrence goaltender. So there again, Connor Kerr. That's 3 goals for him, and he's got 1 assist so far today. Picked up 4 points.
I got one wrong.
Timeout, Lawrence.
Well, we're at 6-2 here, 2nd period. 5:53, Grant. Left in the 2nd period. Oh, Carmel has started to come out of their shell and started to skate here a little bit, and they're just catching
Scored by Wagner. Assist to Kerr and Fagan. Wagner from Kerr and Fagan.
So Fagan got the other assist. 6:22 and 2. Wagner, Connor Kerr, and Dan Fagan. Pete, what are you looking for?
Well, I was just looking at our the goals that have been scored for Carmel are, at this point, all coming from our leaders in goals and total points, with McDonald, Baja, Kerr, John Wagner. We're looking at all at the big numbers for Carmel, and they're producing.
Right. Well, Connor, you know, he didn't even get with this club until late November, when football got done. So he didn't get too many. Connor's only played 43 games. He missed like 18. I think there's like 16 or 18 games. This is number 59 maybe. He missed several games there at the beginning of the season. He would have. He certainly would have been, way up in that scoring had he'd had all that, behind him, because he's got already a lot of 71 points. With today's performance, he's up to 75 points. He's averages almost 2 points a game. Yeah, that's great. And they've played some some good tough teams. Well, we get a little stop here and play for the face-off. Ken Dyer. So out for Carmel, we've got Mike McDonald, Holdsworth, and Riley up front. Derek Wagner and Pete Ray back on the point. For Lawrence, we've got, there's a late shot on the goaltender. That's probably going to get, are we going to call a penalty on that? That's a late shot. You cannot shoot the puck. That was called in the, they did not call it in the Olympics, but there was a big rhubarb about it in the game, of the Olympics game yesterday, the one between the U.S. and Czechoslovakia. The U.S. player came inside the zone. The whistle was blowing, and he took 4 or 5 more steps before he went ahead and fired the puck. And, of course, the goaltender lets up, and if that puck comes at him, he could get hurt. So
absolutely,
they kind of gave him a warning, but they did not call it. But they just called this one here on Carmel. So Carmel is shorthanded. They give the penalty to McDonald, and that was for shooting the puck after the whistle. Nice feed from the corner there to Newhouse. Gave it across to Renfro, and Schubert just robbed him. Had a nice save on it. He had that whole open side, and Schubert just put him away. Well, Pete's picking up. He outmaneuvered the Lawrence player and picked it up and come back out of the zone. So him and Riley are coming down. Pete just throws it on down in the zone and goes back on his defense. Killing the penalty out here and get the penalty over with.
That Rocky's a big, strong
boy. He stole that puck right away from there and give it across to Holdsworth. So we got a stoppage of play here. A little premature whistle. I guess they thought that the goalie was going to take it out of play, and he didn't. We got a line change, and we'll get Carmel coming out here. We got Smith and Baja up front with Burkle and West back on the point. And about 40 seconds left on McDonald's penalty. So Lawrence has got the power play at this point. They threw it out. It comes across to Baja. He gets it across to Smith. Smith just kind of stalls for time and throws it back into the Lawrence zone. Got by the Lawrence defenseman across to his winger. They're coming out of the zone. We got a 2-on-1. But Baja came back and helped out. So Smith gets a little break here on a 2-on-1 of the line change from Lawrence. Smitty just can't buy a goal today. He's got close. And we're going to have an icing because the penalty expired before the puck crossed the goal crease line at the far end of the ice when Lawrence shot it down. So we're back at full strength. You got a minute 41 left in the period. Carmel ahead 6-2, and this is the championship game. Carmel in the white. The championship game for the league playoffs. We're going to talk to Ed Turner here again for a few minutes between the two periods here. Give you about 30 seconds, and he can tell us everything he knows about the high school hockey. And then we'll
not so much time. I think we could do it in about 30 seconds.
We'll talk to one of the ex Carmel players from a couple of years ago, and who also was one of the assistant coaches last year, who's playing down at IU this year. We'll talk to Craig Kollen. So we're just coming down to the 1 minute mark here in the second period left. We get Baja and Ringo on the ice along with Smith, Fagan, and Morris. Ooh, almost a backhand there by Ringo. And Morris holds it in the zone. Lawrence picks it up on the clearing here. Lawrence having a little trouble getting the puck cleared out of the zone. Danny just picked it right off again. Nice play. Oh, too bad. Reid Myers, that's second Reid one that missed today. Two nice ones. Half a minute here left in the period. Baja gets the puck. It creeps back to Smith. Couldn't get the shot. So it's cleared and it gets by Morris on the point, and it comes down a 2-on-1 on Fagan. Nice move on Fagan. Nice pass, cross pass. He put the stick down and stopped it up. And that looks like that's going to be about it here at center ice. I don't think we're going to get another shot. Well, we do. So that's the end of the second period. Carmel is ahead 6-2. We'll get the shots for you here in a minute. Ed Turner here with the high school tournament this year. Ed, there's 24 teams coming in, right?
Yes.
Where all do they
Why do we
come in
have
from?
24 teams coming in from? There'll be in the AAA. There'll be 5 teams from the Hoosier High School Hockey League. There'll be 1 team from Culver, Indiana, the Culver JV, and there'll be and 2 teams from South Bend, Adams and
St. Joe?
No, St. Joe's not in the AAA this year. It's Adams and Riley will be in the AAA. And in the AA, we'll have Bloomington and Park Tudor and Perry. Park Tudor will be the #1 seed out of the Hoosier High School League. Fort Wayne Snyder, Fort Wayne Northrop, and Fort Wayne Northside. And then we'll have Culver JV team and South Bend Marion. And in the A bracket, we'll have teams from Hammond, Indiana, Highland, and Bishop Knoll, and Lake County, which is Munster. And we'll have St. Joe Indians, who used to be in the AAA. Their hockey kind of went downhill. They're starting to come back up, and they're in single A. And Penn from the South Bend area, and Homestead from Fort Wayne. But we looked for an exciting tournament. The tournament will start next Friday night at Pan Am Plaza with the A Division playing their first preliminary games down there. The first game's at 6, and the last game's at 11:15. And then here at Carmel, we will have the AA and AAA starting next Friday nights with games going on in both rinks. Like you said a while ago, and I appreciate it, the attendance, we count on that, and we hope the people come out and see some good hockey, Whitey. We've worked awful hard, and we really appreciate the Carmel Ice Skadium's help and your help for all the years. You don't get enough thanks, and we do want to thank you. And I know I took a little longer than 30 seconds, but you've taught me an awful lot. Thank you.
Well, we're glad that we're able to present it here, and we hope that we get the attendance, people come out and watch them play. Thanks, Ed. Just wanted to take a second here and have Craig Kollen come in. Craig is going to take his hat off here so we can get a good look at him here. And better put it back on. Anyway, Craig, well, it's about the first or second game you've been able to see this year with the Icehound team since you were down at IU playing. What do you think of the team so far? Do you think they're anything that you see that's better? Or you think there's anything that we're not doing as well?
I think I've seen some improvements since the last time I've seen them. It's been a couple months. They're playing a little better team defense, but they still having a couple breakdowns with picking up trailers coming in. And looks like they almost gave up a couple rebound goals.
It's unbelievable the difference in the pace between the high school hockey and what you're playing down there at IU, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, you don't notice it until you see them back to back like that, but.
And when you get on the ice and you're running after somebody, it's even more obvious than ever, I'm sure.
It really is, but
How's your U squad coming? What do you think so far? Are you pleased? Are you happy with? Are you having fun?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. We got a pretty good squad. We're not as consistent as we'd like yet. We up and down a lot, but when we're playing well, we're pretty tough to beat. We got a really good squad.
You are out for an injury there for a while. Could you tell us about that?
I pulled the back of the back part of the groin or the hamstring. It's toward the back of the right leg, and that put me out for one game. But
So,
I had a week to rest, and we played the next weekend. So it's
is it better now? You're doing okay?
yeah.
You must be healthy then, because those are not usually. We're talking to your dad about that. That's not usually one that heals right now. That usually takes some time to heal.
Yeah.
So you must be in shape, and you're taking care of yourself. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you guys split with Purdue, huh?
Yeah, like our consistency didn't do too well this weekend. We had a really bad game Friday night, but came back and played really well Saturday night.
Do you play again in town here in downtown, or is that the only game you have there for this year?
Those were the only two games we had there this season. We've got two more next weekend in Bloomington, and
the playoffs?
The playoffs are in Dayton, Ohio this year. And
well, good luck in there, and thanks for coming by, and it's good to see you. And what I saw your team, I think you're going to have an up-and-comer. If it doesn't even blossom this year, I would be surprised. But I think you got an up-and-comer. So good luck, and thanks for coming by.
All right, thanks.
Well, Pete, again, I don't think they announced the saves between the periods, did they? I never got the saves announced.
I took my headset off so I could, listen up for that, and if they did it, we just missed it.
Hey, see if you can find out what the saves were. He didn't announce it again. Saves for that period. I'm going to send Bob McDonald over here and see if Bob can find out. I don't believe they announced it again. Reid Myers with the Carmel group, they always announce that right away. It's good, and it makes it nice for us because we're on the other side of the rink from the scoring area, and so we don't get a chance to find out what the saves are. But I would say I'm sure that one was a lot worse than the first period, because there was a lot, plus all the ones that went in. They scored 4 goals. There was at least 4 shots there. So we can't keep these up to date for you, but we'll try to get that information for you. The first period, the shots on goal were 17 for Carmel and 7 for Lawrence, and we'll get the other one. We had a little offsides here. We're going to get a change of line. Coming out for Carmel on defense is Fagan and Morris. Up front, we're going to have John Wagner, Connor Kerr, and Reid Myers. It's been their production line today. They've got like 4. I think they've scored 4. I believe they scored 4 of the 6 goals, that line. And it's clear to the zone. It comes back to Fagan. Fagan flips it up to Connor. Connor throws it deep back into Lawrence zone again. And it comes back out to the point again to John Morris. Back to Connor, across to Fagan. And Schubert had to go out and finally clear the puck. We need a whistle here. Get this pushed and shoving. So Schubert takes the puck out of play, and everybody's trying to get to that puck until that whistle blows.
Well, Schubert looked like he was a one-man defensive team there for a while, coming out, stopping the puck. If I understand,
it is going to be a penalty come out of it. It looks like John Morris is going to get a penalty for Carmel, and I can't tell. Just for Morris, from looks from just John Morris. 2-minute roughing. So Carmel see themselves here killing penalty again. You go with John Wagner, Connor Kerr,
Now,
and they got Bo West and Fagan back on the point.
Whitey, when the goalie comes out that far from the crease, he can't cover the puck.
Can't take it out of play.
Right.
He cannot take it out of play. He can put his hand over the puck and slide it off. Slide it as long as he doesn't cover it and just hold it there. He can put his hand over it and slide it off, even to one of his players with his glove, as long as he doesn't push it forward. He's got to push it laterally or behind him.
Well, that's just what he did on that last play down there.
He cannot move it forward. If he does, it's a stoppage of play. And if he puts his hand on it out there when he's outside of that crease area, then it's a 2-minute delay game. I think the linesmen are just, and the referees are just kind of holding back a little bit, and it's just a little pushing and shoving that could be stopped right away as long as they get right to it right away. I think there was anything that was called, but it looks like he is going to call a penalty out of it. Pete, we got the shots there from that second period. Carmel 16 and Lawrence for 7. So that gives us a total of 33 to 14.
Well, it was consistent with the first period.
Right, they just outshot him about 9 more on that one, and of course 4 of them went in. 4 went in, so they did a few more shots. So we're going to see a penalty now on Lawrence. And that's going to put the teams back at even strength here. We're into the third period, about 10:21 left in the third period. Carmel's ahead 6-2. This is the championship game. Carmel in the white.
Well, Lawrence still has the man advantage because we already had a man in the penalty box for Carmel.
So we have a 5-on-4.
Correct.
5-on-4 situation. Correction. Puck's got shot out of the rink over in the Carmel bench area, so we'll have a face-off in the center ice area. For Carmel out front now, we've got Ringo, along with John Wagner, with Fagan, and Bo West back on the point. So Lawrence is trying to get something started in their zone, clearing on out. Pass from Osborne across to Newhouse. Newhouse, a slap shot, missed the net, and it comes back to West. He shoots it down ice, and it's interfered with by the Lawrence defenseman. It would not let it go all the way down. They shoot it back down again, and Chris Offerson for Lawrence goes back and retrieves the puck. Throws it up, and a lateral pass across to Renfro. Back to Spreitzer. And Lawrence keeps it in the zone. Renfro tried to circle the net there and catch Schubert off the post, but he couldn't get it done. And it flips up across to Ringo. And he's picked off from the Lawrence defense. Spreitzer's pass goes deep into the Carmel zone, and Derek Wagner goes back and picks it up.
And Carmel's back to full strength.
Ooh, nice shot there by Renfro, a rising shot as Schubert come across. I think he might have got a piece of that and threw it up in the air and got it up into the glass and in the net, which made the stoppage of play. Get a nice move across there, Schubert did. I believe he's woke up considerably from the first part of the game, too. He was a little bit sluggish there at first, but I think he's come along a lot. He's starting to look like himself now.
Well, what do you do, Whitey?
I think we're going to get back to full strength here. We've got Baja and Smith coming out, and he stuck McDonald up with them, and Ray and Derek Wagner back on the point. And we're going to be back to full strength here. I think they're trying to get something going here because they're getting a little kind of laid back a little bit here. Baja takes the face off. He gets thrown back. Nobody seems to want it. And John. So Baja picks it up, gets across to Smith. Smith takes a shot. It gets picked off by the Lawrence defenseman's foot. Didn't get on net. Renfro.
Well, Whitey, what do you do as a
That's
coach?
Newhouse. I think that's Newhouse for Lawrence and McDonald there, and then Smith came in and did hit the check on the Newhouse from behind. So I don't know just how they're going to go with these, but I'm sure there's probably going to be a couple of roughings, and then I would think that Smith is probably going to get 2 and 10 for the hitting from behind if they call it the way it looked. So that'll be, it's up to, you know, Ken Dyer sorting it out over there right now. We're going to have a couple of penalties along with the linesman.
Need a doctor, Lawrence bench. Is there a position in the house?
Well, sorry to ask you, Whitey, as a coach, you know, what do you do to get these kids warmed up before the game? Do you want to ask them to do any activity?
Well, I don't, you know, there's a lot of kids that need to stretch out. You know, as you know, you got skaters that can go out and they can warm themselves up on the ice. There's a lot of skaters that need to be stretched out and warmed up before they get on the ice. And they're all different. The ones that take longer to be able to stretch out, I think they should do some off-ice stretching before they get on the ice. And then the ones that can just warm up on the ice by skating around. I see these warm-ups, you know, on TV hockey and stuff. Your big players, you know, like Gretzky, he's on the ice. He does not do a lot of the activity with the shooting and the drills and stuff. He maybe run through them once time, but he just constantly keeps skating around and around and around, warming up those joints and, you know, and stretching out. And I'm sure that, you know, it's important. Good athletes will stretch out like that. In Craig's situation there, we were talking about him and his injury. That very easily could be from not warming up. Maybe you get into these games that the ice
happened on the first shift.
Sure, the ice is limited, and you maybe get on a little bit late. Maybe you just kind of go out and you kind of allow it to gag around a little bit instead of going out and stretching yourself out and skating around hard and warming yourself. So it is, yes, it is very important that they get out and get these, even in practices, the same as games. Well, Carmel's going to have a double penalty with Smith and McDonald in the box, and Lawrence with the one. So it looks like Lawrence is going to have the power play here with.
They called one of the penalties against Carmel, I believe, for kneeing.
Right, that was on McDonald. Evidently, after he went down, he pushed away with his knee, and they will call that kneeing. It's better to do that than to use these skates. So it's going to be a power play for Lawrence. Yes, 5-on-4. We've got Ringo and Baja, along with Morris and Ray for Carmel. And they've got Klein, Renfro, Spreitzer, Merchant, and they score. And they score. Lawrence scores.
17 from Renfro.
17 got the gold for them. Okay, that's Hawkins.
And I believe it was from Renfro.
17-5.
I believe so.
Okay. So Lawrence is.
Scored by David Hawkins. Smith from Renfro and Spreitzer. Hawkins from Renfro and Spreitzer. Carmel returns the player to the ice.
Those three kids, Pieter, are all kids that are come from the Team Indiana program, haven't they?
That's right.
All three of those kids. Well, they've got the
breakaway.
They've got the kid line out here, more or less again, with Davis and Farrell, along with Ben Cole. And the puck's out of play here. Schubert's down in the net. The net got off.
And we're getting to that time of a game like this, Whitey. We've seen it in the past. Lawrence is frustrated. It's winding down in the third period, and little extra activity occurs, unfortunately.
Oh, well, 2 minutes later,
Well, Pete, I'd like to, again, we'd like to mention that these broadcasts are made possible by the people down at Lockhart, Cadillac, and Saturn. They're the ones that have, came forward to help out financially this program, to be able to bring these broadcasts this season to you, and also they'll be doing this for us during the state tournament coming up next weekend. So we'd like to thank those people down there on North Keystone for their help and assistance here, because it sure helped us to be able to do the games.
Well, I'm sure the families of
Carmel's taking its 1 minute timeout, Pete, here.
Yep.
So the stoppage of play.
I started to say, I think I know the families of all these players, not just for Carmel, but Lawrence and the other teams that Carmel plays really appreciate that these telecasts are done, and they can go home on Thursday evening and replay the game, and gives them a chance to keep a little history of their kids. They can record these. And
I appreciate your help coming in and filling in too, while Fred's down at IU this weekend after the games here with Purdue that they played with the hockey here down at the Pan Am Plaza. He's got some business with his son at the fraternity and so on, and he'll be back next week. And you're going to be out of town, but you'll be back for the championship game.
Correct.
That's good. Well, we appreciate you coming in and give us the help, and we hope we're going to see Carmel in that game. I should hope they would make it. I think they've got the horses to do it. So let's see if it isn't going to be them against. I would be my guess that it's probably going to come out of the JV B, which is more or less the B team of Culver, which would be the B team, and probably Carmel will go down to that thing. It'd just be my guess if the brackets go the way they do.
Well, Culver in the first game plays North Central, and of course North Central has proven themselves capable of playing a strong game. So what you never do is take anybody for granted. If Culver B comes in, takes them for granted, it may not be, but chances are you'd look for Culver to go through the brackets.
Sure. Well, we're getting ready to get started here. For Lawrence, we've got on the ice right now, we've got Renfro along with Newhouse, and also up front Klein with Benson, and Spreitzer back on the point for Carmel. On defense, we've got Fagan and Morris. John Morris, and we've got John Morris and Kerr up front for things. So Lawrence has still got the power play for a little while here, about a minute and 49 seconds, and then we'll be back at even strength. And John Morris shoots it down ice into Lawrence end. Lawrence clears and it gets away from him and comes back to Fagan. Fagan puts it back down ice. Well, when he tried to clear it, I guess it went across and got onto a stick and then hit the glass and went up in the air, which it would have went out of the rink, but it hit the referee and fell back in the rink. So they took it back to the point where Fagan shot it. And it'll be Renfro and Baja with a face-off. And John Morris clears it back down ice again. So we've got about 1:20 left on the penalty here to Bo West. And then we'll be back in it. And John Morris flips the puck up into the Carmel bench area. We'll get a change of lines here. Got Rocky Riley coming out along with Holdsworth. Gonna change the defense also. Got Derek Wagner along with Pete Ray. Lawrence has kept what they had out there. They've kept their line out there on that power play. They're going to go ahead with that, I guess. 10 seconds left on the penalty. Lawrence would like to pick up another goal here if they can and try to get back into this game. We're at 6-3, just about 5 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. And Derek Wagner clears it back down the ice. And Derek Wagner shoots it down again. So Lawrence cannot get anything going. We're down to about 30 seconds left in the penalty, and then we'll be back to full strength. Spreitzer shoots the puck. It's a high shot, and it's off of Schubert's stick hand. Goes up in the net, so it'll be the face-off will be right in the Carmel zone to the right of the, well, it's going to be to the left.
Sitting right down in front of us, Whitey, is Don Perkins, the coach at Brebeuf, who's brought their hockey program up in tremendous strides the last 2 years. From, I believe, AA last year. They're now their first year in AAA.
All right, this is the first time they won the AA last year. 2 years in, and they won the AA championship last year. They're going to lose a lot of their group this year. He's had most of these kids. He's had them right straight on through for the 3 years, and they'll be leaving. So they're going to be in a rebuilding stage. Carmel will lose several of their players this year. They're going to be in a rebuilding stage. North Central should be in good shape, as we had talked about. They got a young goaltender coming up, and Tim York, the coach for them, has kept a pretty young roster. Well, Carmel can't seem to stuff it past the Lawrence goaltender to pick up that other goal. We're down to 4.5 minutes left in the game.
Well, Carmel feels this win.
McDonald picks it up, gets it across to Ringle. Tries to get to McDonald and couldn't. It was picked off by Derek. Derek Wagner handles the puck. And he gets it picked off. Here's Schubert. Another little play of dropping it right out front again.
They've kind of slowed down again now.
Yeah.
That's what I started to say.
Trying to get it over with.
They feel the end is near, and
Murray's pass across to Smith, and Smith throws it down deep in the zone. Lawrence tries to center it out. The Lawrence goaltender couldn't hold on to it. So there's a... And we got to stoppage of play there again. Nobody injured, just 2 players down. Polk Carmel's going to get a change of players here. Well, they came pretty consistent on the goals in the first period. 4 goals, 2 and 2. Then Carmel scored 4 in the second, and Lawrence is the only one that scored so far in this.
Lawrence penalty at 3:37. 2 minute minor Osborne for roughing, and the 10-minute game was coming. 10-minute misconduct.
So he's going to be, Osborne's out of the game for the rest of this because there's only 3:37 left in the game, Pete, and he's going to get a 2 and 10, so he won't see any more action himself. Lawrence will be shorthanded for 2 minutes down to the 1:37 mark. So Carmel's going to have a power play here, and I'm sure they're going to rise to the occasion here. They're probably going to score on this one.
Now, will
They
that take
put
him
the-
out of the first game of the...
No,
Okay.
it won't. It doesn't carry over. If it was a major, it would, yes. So we've got Baja and Smith and Ringo up forward, along with Fagan and Morris back on the point. Carmel's in the power play. Fagan's shot was wide of the net and it bounced in the air. Ringo come back and retrieved it and give it back out to Fagan. And Lawrence clears it. Schubert comes out and picks it up. Feeds it across to Morris. We're down about under the 3-minute mark now. Pete left in the game. Carmel ahead, 6-3. Ringo goes through a barrage of pushing and shoving and hooking to be able to still maintain the puck. The referees at this point wanting to get the game over with. Pass from Baja to Ringo is missed. Morris makes things happen. Nice pass across to Smith, and Smith flips it, but it's too high in the air. Ringo retrieves it in the corner. He gets it across. And Lawrence shoots it down ice. Fagan picks it up. And we're down to the 2-minute mark. Across to Farrell. We got Farrell, Davis, and Cole out there now. And Newhouse for Lawrence shoots it down ice. He got about 6 or 7 seconds left on it, and then we'll be back at even strength here. About 4, 2, 1, and we're 5-5 on the ice now. Lawrence has got a player paying back behind the Carmel defense here, trying to get a long pass breakaway. Renfro trying to set it up. Gets it across to the defense. And Schubert takes the puck out of play. And we're going to have another penalty here. It looks like on Bo West of Carmel. Don't know what he called that.
Probably hitting from behind.
Better cross-checking, possibly. Yeah. So Carmel's going to have to run short-handed here for the last 1:11 of the game here. It's down to 1:11. On the ice to kill out this penalty. We've got McDonald.
Final penalty to Bo West. 2 minutes minor for charging.
Charging, they call it. So that does not carry the 10-minute with it. And they got to Carmel for too many men on the ice, evidently, and they're going to give it to Davis. No, they're going to send him back on the ice and make Kerr go back on the bench. So there's not going to be a penalty, but the last man out was sent back to the bench because they didn't want to make the change. So now they can change if they want to any time. But once the referee calls for last man, that's it. That's the last time they get a chance to Derek Wagner evidently got a stick up in the face mask or up around his head there someplace. Pete, you got to realize that these guys have played with each other, against each other, ever since they played hockey, probably from about 8 years old on up. And that's 9 to 10 years that they have been either with or against each other at some point or another. And they know all of the other characteristics of the other players. They don't like any of them to get ahead of the other one. So it's a rivalry always. So it's kind of hard to play a game that way when they do that, because they don't. Now that they've just sent another player for Lawrence back to the bench because they changing after he gave him the last man. Okay, we're 1:02 left here in the game. We've got it together. It's 5-on-4. Lawrence does have a power play. They've got Renfro and Spreitzer, Klein out there. Sauce. Carmel's just trying to kill the time. Connor Kerr picks up the puck and comes on out along with John Wagner. Connor's just wanting to kill some time. Pete Ray picks it up and takes it back. Feeds it across. John Wagner back to Ray. We're down to the 10-second mark here. We're going to get it over. Looks like not going to be much of a chance for another shot on goal at this point. Fagan goes back and clears it up, and that's it. And Carmel is the league champion and also the playoff champion.